But there are those that think the Warriors are done. Not next year and the year after because KD's leaving. I'm talking about right now.
Overreaction Wednesday.
None other than our good friend. I was on Undisputed today with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Skip Bayless is saying that the Golden State Warriors need to trade Draymond Green immediately because he doesn't think they can salvage the relationship with him and Kevin Durant and win with that crew there. I disagree with that. And what do you think? You think this is an overreaction or what?
I think it's a total overreaction. It's juicy. Don't get me wrong.
Well, let's hear from KD first.
It's juicy.
Let's hear from KD, who was none too pleased in the post-game press conference last night. Here's Kevin Durant.
Hey, Kevin, have you and Draymond been able to hash anything out?
Nah.
Do you see that happening anytime soon?
I'm sure it will. We got a long season ahead.
Did he cross the line with anything last night that was said?
I'm going to keep that in-house. That's what we do here. I know you guys got a job to do, but I'm not trying to give nobody no headlines. What happened. We're trying to move on, just trying to play basketball.
Were you surprised he got suspended?
I was just focused on the game. I didn't really care either way. I was just focused on trying to come out here and finish this back-to-back off.
Kevin, how would you sort of describe your friendship with Draymond? It seems like you guys have been friends for even before you became a Warrior.
I don't really think that even matters at this point right now. I mean, we just had a game. Anybody want to talk about the game?
Hold on.
Really? Why?
Yes.
What was so great about that?
I just thought
it was fine, but I mean,
no, I thought it was honest. I thought it was honest. I thought his answers were honest in a situation where, Chris, you could just say, "I'm not saying anything," and he didn't say, "I'm not saying anything." He addressed a couple of things there. Not that he's going to give you. He said that I'm not going to give anybody any headlines or whatever. But I at least admitted that he at least something went down. You know what I mean?
Well, that's undeniable.
No. But I'm talking about the thing about, are you guys as close? Well, that's not that important right now. Are you going to got to hash it out? He goes, it's early. It's a long season. This is what I'm talking about. It's a long season. Over time, it'll get worked out. That's basically what he said. I think his answers were honest.
Well, first of all, I thought
Did you not? You didn't think his answers
I thought
were
he
honest?
did a fine job. I had no problem with what he did.
He could have stonewalled the whole thing. Don't ask me no Draymond question.
Well.
He said, you guys have a job to do. I get that.
He handled himself well.
I thought he did a good job.
When he said, we keep things in-house, that's what we do. Really? We got all types of reports about what Clay said in the meeting, what Dre said in the meeting. Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? Now, I agree. He did the right thing.
No, he did the right thing.
But the organization clearly isn't keeping things in-house.
No.
There's all types of, anonymous sources out there that have not kept things in-house. That's number one. And then he said, I'm not going to give anybody any headlines. Well, we didn't need him to.
No, but
we got plenty of headlines.
But he could have said, and what he could have said was, me and Draymond are done, man. I don't want to play with that dude.
Come on. Who's saying that?
No,
nobody's coming out and saying that.
That would be great. Would those be headlines? Would those be headlines?
Oh, that'd be headlines.
Okay.
But he's not going to come out and say that.
No, but I just thought that he could have just stonewalled and said, I'm only taking questions about the game.
He was fine.
He was fine.
He could have done that, and that would have been fine too.
No, it wouldn't have. It's too big of a story. Yeah.
No, he was fine either way. But I'm not going to applaud. I don't think it was applause worthy.
I liked it. I did. Too often you get nothing.
Let me ask you this:
nothing.
How is this going to impact their season?
0. I'm on the record. 0, 0, 0.
So they still win the championship
because
going
it's
away.
November. We're 12 games into a long NBA season. This will, a month or two from now, you won't even be like, oh, wait a minute. When they win 12 in a row, you'll be like, oh yeah, they were fighting and their season was coming apart and all that. When they go through the schedule and they're playing all these bad teams in the NBA, dude, stop it. They have so much talent. Boogie Cousins haven't even stepped on the court yet. Draymond will get over it. They'll get over it. I'm not saying that they're going to be back to being best boys overnight. But
they may never get back to being boys.
They might not. But I'm telling you to play. You don't have to love a guy to play with them. You don't.
The good news for them is that this is November. November. Like you said, they got, 70 games left?
70 games to
65 games,
and
whatever
and then the 3 months of the playoffs. I know it feels like
But yeah, no, they've got a long time. And the issue is this, that players can play on a team and not get along.
It happens all the time.
Shaq and Kobe. Now, eventually they broke up, but they did win 3 straight titles.
Do you know what? A lot of great teams, bands, groups, organizations, they break up. It happens. And at some point, this wasn't going to continue. We already knew that there's a good chance that he was either going to leave this year or next year. One of the two.
Right.
I don't think that this is like some earth-shattering.
No, that he's going to leave
is not the shocker. That's no shocker.
The question is, will it have an impact on them?
I agree. On this year. That's the story, Chris. No doubt.
It's not what it's going to be for the future. Now, look, we have seen teams break up. Let me give a few that have not really been boys or been great friends. And one, there was always talk that Larry Bird and Kevin McHale weren't the best of buddies when they played. Kareem got along with players, but he wasn't socializing with Magic. Those guys didn't really talk to him a lot,
Danny Ainge was another one with Bird.
They didn't get along.
Yeah,
so, it happens. Dennis Rodman, during the three-peat with Jordan wasn't hanging out with Dennis Rodman. Rodman was doing his own thing.
Rodman was wearing dresses by the time he was in Chicago. It was a mess. Wedding dresses and the hair and the piercings, and Rodman had gone off the deep end.
Right. And so that's an example. Now, one example of a team breaking up because of personalities was the Shaq-Kobe Lakers. Now, again, they won 3 straight. But I know you won't agree with this, Mr.
No, don't
Parker.
Stop. Do not.
They would have won 4 straight.
No, they would not have.
4 straight. They would have won
lost
in 04.
They had lost a year before. So they had already lost. No, see, they had already lost.
Those mediocre Detroit Pistons. You
know what? Take that out of your mouth.
All due respect to Chauncey, Rip, Rasheed, Ben, and
Tayshaun Prince.
All due respect.
That's blasphemy.
But they were not better than the Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. How in the world can you even fix your mouth to say they were better than the Shaq, Kobe, Malone, Payton Lakers?
They were so much better.
It was infighting.
No,
it was that
it
team.
had nothing to do with that.
It did. I covered that team throughout the playoffs.
I covered the Pistons all year.
I ain't talking about the Pistons. The Pistons are the minor part of the story.
No, they weren't.
The Lakers. That Lakers team had problems all year. Gary Payton didn't like playing for Phil Jackson.
Stop.
Shaq and Kobe still had their issues.
And they got all the way to the finals. And then the first time in the NBA history, the Pistons won in a 5-game sweep. It had never happened before. It was a 5-game sweep.